What's happening, everyone? Jeff back here, moving right along with Project Zailas. Our next step is going to be putting in the Tomei Y pipe to help complete the exhaust system. It's going to be a fantastic upgrade from the stock Y pipe. Not only is it going to allow for so much more airflow back through the muffler, but it also weighs a lot less. It's a full titanium system, so it's going to replace that old stock super heavy Y pipe that comes from the factory. That's probably the biggest gain that you're going to see from doing this modification, is the weight savings is just massive. So definitely going in with the Y pipe now. It's just going to take it to the next level as always. So here is the Y pipe itself. This is the unit. It's all titanium, like I said, really lightweight. This weighs almost nothing. I mean, it's crazy how light this is, especially compared to the stock one. It's just amazing. You're gonna get hardware, new hardware for it. Tomei's nice enough to include hardware and new gaskets, so you don't need to worry about reusing the old gaskets. Some JDM bolt smooth paste, which is cool. New nuts. Any new hardware that you need, they supply it for you, no problem. They give you some stickers, which is cool. Gonna be rocking some of those probably. Haven't decided where I want to do the decaling on my car yet. I'm gonna do that kind of last. And of course, instructions. So not too much comes in the package. It's kind of self-explanatory. It's not a difficult thing to install at all. It's just a matter of taking the old one out, putting the new one in. So you got a total of 6 bolts that are gonna need to come out. Gonna be a little bit of a tight squeeze under there at the moment, but you've got the 2 bolts that are going to be from the back of the Y pipe. Let me scoot under here and show you. So you got the 2 bolts that are going to be at the back of the Y pipe flange right there, one there and one right there, and then it's got 2 up on each side as well heading into the cats. Those will need to come out as well. After those are out, it's just a drop out and plug the new one back in and then re-bolt it up with the new hardware, or you can use your old hardware if you want, if that's what you prefer, but I'm going to be using the newer stuff whenever possible. So yeah, not too hard to install at all. It's going to be really quick and easy. So let's get to it. Man, I swear, like every single time I try to start a video out here, like something with some massive noise just starts happening. Like all of my neighbors in my entire neighborhood they decide to like mow their lawns at the same time, or like just giant delivery trucks or something start coming by, or dogs start barking, or every single time there's something. So sure enough, got neighbors mowing their lawn. Hope that doesn't bother you guys too much. One other thing to note is you might have noticed that the bolts were sprayed down pretty good. I hit them all with PB Blaster, and I've let it sit on there for about a half hour at this point. Now, you don't have to use PB Blaster. You can use WD-40 if that's all you have, but you want to use something. Get something in there to help loosen up those bolts, because if you have not ever taken these bolts out, they can be a major pain in the ass. Take it from me. I'm speaking from experience. So hit them with some penetrant so that they're working some of that rust out, and then when you go in to get them off, hopefully they'll come off for you no problem. So that's already been done. It's been on there for about a half hour, so it should be good to go. And the last time I did some exhaust work, I loosened them up so that when I got my Y pipe, it wouldn't give me too much of a problem. So hopefully we'll be good today. The first thing I had to do was put the Y pipe together. It comes in 3 pieces. So these pieces right here, the 2 upper portions and the bottom portion, are not connected out of the box, so you do have to put that together. They include the clamps, so I went ahead and already fit them on and put the clamps on. Now there is a certain direction that you need to go with this. You can't just put them on any way that it looks like it fits and hope that it works, because there is a certain direction. If you look on the side here, you can see the Tomei logo, and it's upside down currently. This is actually the bottom and this is the top. So the Tomei logo is actually on the left side, and then when it's right side up, that indicates the top. And on the 2 pipes up here, you want to make sure that the flanges are diagonally facing up inward toward the center, okay? Because they're not horizontal, they're slightly diagonal. So you want to make sure that you have this side facing up in on both sides. That's the way that the flange hooks up to the cats, okay? And so when you put this together, don't tighten these right away, just tighten them so that you're not going to get any movement from the pipes, because you may need to make some slight adjustments when you get it up on the car. You don't want to get it all tight down and figure out once you're under the car that it's not, you know, one pipe has to be moved a little bit to line up with the studs. So don't tighten them all the way, just tighten them enough where the pipes aren't going to fall out. Okay. With that being said, let's go ahead and start taking the bolts out. That's going to be our first order of business. Start dropping out that old Y pipe. There we go. Okay, so the Y pipe is now wanting to fall down from the back here where I'm taking the bolts out. So before I take this one completely out, I'm going to go ahead and get another little jack and just jack this up right here so it's not dangling down. You don't want to put any unnecessary pressure on those two mounts up front, because not only can they bend the studs, but it's also going to make it harder for you to take the nuts off. You don't want that. I'm going to get another little jack and then jack this up right here. Alright, so I have that ready to come out, but before I take it out, I'm going to go up to the front and get those two up there. Now you might see me using a shop towel like this around the wrench, and the reason for that is that some of these bolts can get really rusted, so the actual proper size may not fit on there because of the rust, and so you got to use just the size one smaller than that. But if you fill the socket with the shop towel, then it will just help to give it a nice snug fit. Generally you don't want to use a smaller size because you run the risk of stripping the nut out. So if you fill it with this, it'll just give it that really nice snug fit over the rust, and you can really get some torque on it. So this is going to be it for this side. Man, these nuts are looking pretty crusty. Crusty nuts. Right, so that's that side done. Right, that side done. So at this point we can go ahead and remove it from the back and then let it drop down, and then we'll pull it back off the studs in the front. Done with the jack. I'm going to hold this up with my hand while I take this out. Okay, out comes the old gasket. Nut. Okay, and this thing is heavy, so I'm just going to go ahead and wiggle this out off of the studs in the front. A little, you got to just work it out, you know, make sure it clears from the front. It won't come off the front studs unless it's straight, so if you let it dip down too much, it won't come off. So just one side at a time. There we go, there's that side. And we're just gonna get this side now. There we go. And down comes the old Y pipe. Alright, so there we have the factory Y pipe right here compared to the Tomei. So you can see the difference there. Definitely a lot less bulky, a lot shinier, a lot nicer. Bulky, dull, not so nice. You can see the difference in diameter, nice and thick. And then the factory one, much more narrow. But the biggest difference, of course, as I stated before, is the weight. Oh my god, the weight difference is unbelievable. So yeah, I can, with my pinky finger, I can lift this up easily. And this guy is, that's putting a lot of strain on my pinky to try and get that up. You can just hear how heavy that thing is compared to that. So I hope that comes across in the video. Super light, super heavy. So now we're going to do basically the exact opposite. We're going to pull the Tomei Y pipe underneath. We're still not going to tighten the clamps yet. We don't do that until we get ready to fasten the front pipes up onto the cats. And once we have them properly fitted, then we can go in and tighten those down. We're going to use as much new hardware as we can. We don't want to reuse the old stuff if we don't have to. So we're going to use some of this stuff. They also give you this this plug for this right here. So they give you that. We're not going to need it, so we got to plug that up. And then we'll use all the new gaskets. The large one goes on the back, and the two smaller ones go on the front. I'm also going to go ahead and apply the Bolt Smooth paste to the hardware before we get up in there. I'd hate to get up under the car and then forget and remember at the last minute that I forgot to put the Bolt Smooth paste on there, so I'm going to just go ahead and put it on the threads. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put the new gaskets up on the cat flanges. There's no particular way that they go. They're the same on both sides, so you can put it up on there. But before you put it on there, make sure there's no loose debris or any loose rust or anything right here on the edge of the flange. You don't want anything getting caught in between the Y pipe and the cat. Just make sure it's nice and clean. You don't have to go crazy and like scrub it all down for days or anything like that. Just make sure there's no loose dust or loose debris or anything like that. Make sure it's nice and smooth. Once it's smooth, go ahead and put your new gasket on there. Should be a direct fit, no problem. Do the same exact thing on the other side. Take the old gasket off, obviously. Don't leave it on there. Okay, and new gasket. Perfect. Alright, and now you want to go ahead and slide the Y pipe onto the cats. This is where we may need to do a little bit of adjustment. The pipe positioning. Again, make sure you have the right side up. Don't put it upside down. It won't fit if you do, so you'll know, but don't get it under the car upside down, only to find out that it's the wrong way. So I have to adjust this tubing a little bit up this way. There we go, just like that. Right, once you got those on there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and spray those studs with a penetrant first before I put the nuts on. That way it'll just help to inhibit any rust. So I'm going to throw a bolt in the back here, not tightening it or anything, just to get it to stay up there. There we go, that way it doesn't hang down in the back. Then I'm just going to spray some penetrant on the threads. I'm just going to spray some PB blasters, what I'm using at the moment, up on both sides. Long-term thing, it'll help you out in the long run. So once the penetrant is on there, we can go ahead and put the nuts back on in the front. Leave them fairly loose for the moment. Don't tighten them down all the way. Just enough so that it's not going to go anywhere on you. Alright, and at this point I'm going to go ahead and put the new hardware that they supply in the back. It's already got the bolt paste applied, as you can see. So I'm going to hold that up. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and attach the back portion to the muffler flange right here. Don't forget to add your gasket. Don't tighten this on there without the gasket. Make sure your gasket is on there. So I'm going to fit that up on there. I'm going to put the supplied new bolt with the bolt paste already applied. I'm going to go ahead and put the bolt from the front going backward toward the back of the car. Right, so now that you have all your hardware in, everything is in the proper position. You got all your gaskets on, you've got everything where it's supposed to go, you can start tightening. Now I'm going to go ahead and leave these on, not fully tight, but I'm going to tighten them to about hand tight. And then I'm going to move back up toward the front ones and start tightening those. These are all 14 millimeter bolts, by the way. Alright, so I'm going to move up to the front and start tightening those nuts up there. Don't tighten down your clamps on your Y-pipe just yet. These guys, don't tighten those down yet. Wait to do that last. Once you have everything tightened, all your bolts, then you can tighten these down. Alright, so we got all the nuts in the front fully tightened down. Now we're going to go ahead and tighten the back nuts, and then we're going to go ahead and clamp down the pipes right there. Then we're all done under the car. Alright guys, and that is it. We now have the Y-pipe fully installed. Not too hard to install at all. It's just a matter of dropping the old one out, put the new one in. You do have to factor in that some of those nuts could be really rusty on there, and you might have a hell of a time trying to get them off, but other than that, it's not hard to do at all, and it's a very worthwhile upgrade to do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the car on and see if we have any kind of a difference in sound, to give you guys a couple of revs so we can hear what this bad boy sounds like with the new Y-pipe on. You be the judge. Alright y'all, that's gonna be it for this one. Hope y'all like that sound. I am loving it. I'm shaking. I'm so excited. I'm so happy about that sound. Keep in mind, that is with the stock cats, man. That is not high flow, that's not straight pipes, that's just straight stock cats with the Y-pipe and the muffler. I'm telling you what, Tomei freaking nailed it with this exhaust right here. It is the best, it's my opinion of course, but it is the best exhaust that you can get on the Z, bar none, just hands down. So the sound is just unbelievable. I cannot believe it. It's so sick. But I do have to be careful because it is definitely a little more raspy or a little louder. So those cops, man, I've already had to hide from a couple of them, but they're gonna be looking for me. Anyways, this is gonna be it for this one. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. We'll talk to you on the next one. Peace.